Welcome to Australia Award podcast series. This is Nathan Muniniet, your host for today's episode. We are discussing a topic regarding to the power of the cross-cultural exchanges through the Australia Award Scholarship. Today we are very honored to have two special guests, Bong Pang Sonita, the research and development specialist. She graduated with her master degrees of the educational study at the University of Queensland in 2023. And finally, we have Bong Ratha, the program coordinator for the Just Energy Transition and Climate Resilience at the Oxfam in Cambodia. He graduated with a master degrees from the Victoria University in the International Community Development in 2020. Welcome.
Thank you, Niet. It's a pleasure to be here.
Yeah, thank you, Niet. Very excited to be here today.
Thank you, Bong. So let's start by sharing your personal experiences regarding to the cross-cultural exchanges as the Australia Board Scholar. So, Bong Ratha, we'd like to go first and then followed by Bong Sonita.
Absolutely. I spent 2 years in Melbourne studying a master degree of International Community Development at Victoria University. Those times were full of growth, personally and professionally. I met a lot of students from different countries, learning about their culture, their perspective. Besides my study, I also joined Victorian Government Engagement Program in 2019, where I gained insight into areas like climate change, smart city, and infrastructure. On top of that, I also do volunteer job and internship job as well at the two international organizations, where I gain a lot of network and friendship that stay with me until now.
Thank you, Bong. How about Bong Sonita?
Sure. The experience that stand out to me the most was the cultural performance at the university. What happened was that the scholars from different countries, they came together to the University of Queensland to do cultural performance. So each country was given a few minutes to share what represent them and their culture. Some countries sang their traditional song, while others did the traditional dance or played their own instrument. Seeing people from different countries that was diverse, showing something unique on stage really gave me goosebumps. It was an amazing experience.
Thank you, Bong Ratha and Bong Sonita, for sharing your incredible experiences. So I'm eager to know more about that. So can you also elaborate more on how those experiences shape your personal and your professional growth? So this time we go with Bong Sonita first and then Bong Ratha later.
For me, in terms of personal growth, it was the moment when we assigned to do the showcase of our culture. It really had me sitting down and do the reflection on who I am, what culture do I represent, and what do I need to bring to the international stage. And for professionally, it was the moment when we, the Cambodian scholar, come together to make a decision on what we should bring to show. And because sometimes we have different idea, we need to negotiate on what we need to show on the international stage. And these skills later on helped me with both my academic and my career.
Thank you, Bong. How about you?
For me, being in Australia changed me a lot. I used to be a very introvert person and focus solely on work. But being in Australia, I had a contact with many diverse individual person where I learn a lot and be more open and social. And I am deeply grateful for Australian Award Scholarship. And once again, for my student support officer at Victoria University, where they support me a lot. And professionally, I expand my networks through my internship. I gained a lot of hands-on experience in the community development, the network that I built during my study. And those experience in network. Now I apply at Oxfam in Cambodia within my role as the program coordinator.
So it's wonderful to see how you both had a good experiences and how those experiences shape the development of your personal and your professional growth. So could you share us the any specific moments that you make and you may consider as a significant impact? So this time we start with Mong Ratha and then followed by Mong Sonita.
Thank you, Ned. If I could choose one, it would be my internship at Anglican Overseas Aid during the COVID pandemic. And I am very thankful to my former supervisor at that time that connected me to that Anglican Overseas Aid in Australia. I was the program support officer, so my role was going to work with different departments at Anglican Overseas Aid, and I also had the opportunity to support the women group in Myanmar and the partner in the Pacific country. During that time, I was given the opportunity to travel to Solomon Island to do the program evaluation. It was during the COVID-19, but it was really a good experience that I can learn about the culture, the way of working of the Solomon Island over there, and it gave me a lot of experience, and I can apply those kind of experience into my workplace.
Thank you, Bro. That's very insightful to hear. How about Bong Sunita? Any moment for you?
Impacting. For me, I think it was a moment where I have the interaction with my Muslim classmate. For me, I'm not a Muslim. So this moment, when I was there, I realized that there's something called Ramadan. It's a period where most of the Muslims do the fasting, which means that they have to eat before sunrise and wait until the sunset before they can eat or drink again. And for some time, as someone who is not Muslim, so we tend to follow our routine and schedule. We eat like 3 meals a day, right? And sometimes I tend to forget and wanted to invite my classmate to lunch, and or that. And that moment, I realized that this actually might trigger their hunger or might not be very polite in that moment. And that brought me to realization that my action could have an impact on other people. So I become more thoughtful and consideration on every action that I have later on whatever I do. Yeah, that's the very impactful that changed my perspective. Yeah.
Thank you, Mong. So as an international student, I'm sure that living in Australia has a different sort of challenges, and it may vary from one person to one person. So Bong Sunita, can I know if you have any challenges and how did you overcome those challenges effectively?
Of course, there were challenges. Two of the challenges that I could think of was the first one is communication. The second one is teamwork. When I talk about communication, what I meant was that each person has their own preferred communication styles. So during that time of study, some of my classmates prefer a more direct communication style. Mostly they're like Western students, while some other prefer a more subtle and indirect way. So how do I overcome this is that I learn to observe and notice their preferred communication style, and then I adapt to what they like. The second challenge was that during the teamwork, each of us might have different opinion. Why? Because we were brought up in different background and we have different upbringing. So each team member has different idea of what to put in the PowerPoint slide. How do we overcome this is that we learn to look at the issue from each other's perspective. So I learn to put myself in my teammate's shoes so that I can see why he think like that. And then we negotiate and then we compromise so that everyone can feel heard and feel valued.
Before I'm starting my experience, just want to emphasize what Sonita mentioned. It's not so much different when we international student and work in a team and a group, so there will be a different communication. But I would like to add a little bit on how I live in Australia and met some challenges. So for me, before I'm going to before I went to Australia, actually I used to work with the Australian citizen like 7 years, and more often I travel to Australia like twice, 3 times a year. So there was not very challenging for me at all to come and study in Australia for 2 years. And those kind of communication, I work professionally with those kind of Australian citizens, prepare me so well how to adapt the Australian. But one thing that I would bring is in Melbourne, everyone knows that Melbourne is the multicultural environment. So there is many different culture, different people coming.
Yeah.
So I was very mindful when I want to speak with those kind of people, need to understand their culture, their background. So prepare me very well before I speak to them. I need to understand their culture. Otherwise, there will be a very challenging communicate with them if you don't know their culture.
Mm-hmm.
So that's one of my most challenges during my time in Melbourne.
So it sounds like the Australia boats really support on the cross-cultural exchanges. So could you tell us a bit more on how this program has facilitated this kind of exchanges? So let's start with number 10 first.
Thank you. Yeah, I remember during my time in Australia, we have the student support officer at Victoria University. So they are very, very helpful. They organize a lot of activity. They checking on us every time. I can say like every month, and we still keep in touch with that student support officer. So they bring us to cherry picking. I remember it's gonna be in November that the cherry picking. And also they brought us to the snow mountain. That's my very first time seeing the snow. So I think it happened in June. So those kind of activity that they prepare, they checking on us, they supporting us, it make us feel like home and make us really welcome to the land of Australia. Yeah.
To hear you are being supportive and being welcome a lot as the Australia World Scholar. So how about Bong Sonita? Could you share us a bit more on this?
Actually, on Australia, what is really supportive in terms of our journey and every scholar's journey. They support us since the beginning, even before we depart to Australia, because they provide a pre-departure training. So they, in this training, it's to equip the scholars with academic capacity, and as well as to familiarize us with the cultural aspect as well of Australia. And then when we arrive in Australia, there's an introductory academic program that is designed by Australia Award, cooperate with the university to deliver us a more specific kind of preparation targeting to our course and our international life there. And even during our study in Australia, they also have different events like Borat has mentioned earlier. For my case, it's the indigenous cultural performance, which allow us to have a deeper appreciation of Australian culture.
Okay, thank you. A great experience to hear from you. So the cross-cultural connections are the key for Cambodia's development, especially that is a roadmap to strengthen people-to-people linkages as one of the objectives of the Australia Boards as well. So can I know your perspective? Like, how do you think that the cross-cultural exchanges can help contribute to the economic growth, social inclusion, and sustainability? So let's hear from Bong Sonita.
Okay, I'm going to answer one by one. First one, it's the economic growth, right? For me, it's the cultural exchange bring in foreign investment. And usually when there's a cultural exchange established between country, foreign investor of the country that already established the cultural connection with Cambodia are likely to come to Cambodia to set up their businesses, right? And once businesses are set up, there are more opportunity for jobs, right? The second part is social inclusion. When we our Cambodian students go out abroad to study, it really exposed us to a different perspective, and that allow us to gain global perspective. And once we come back, usually we integrate that into helping the development of a society by making our society more inclusive. The third point, which is environmental sustainability, I think this point we could clearly see that most of our our Cambodian students who went abroad to study, some of them coming back, they are more aware of the environmental issue, for example, global warming or the use of plastic and many more. And some of them even go a step further to create project or set up some sort of idea to help tackle those issues. And this is due to the exposure to other countries' success and challenges. Thank you.
Thank you, Bong. So can I hear about your perspective regarding to this?
Sure. I think that's really good that Sonita just covered 3 elements that you have just asked. But I just want to add one more thing, that being the international student in Australia, we met a lot of people and we share our culture, our country, what we have. And for me, it's about promoting tourism as Cambodia to those kind of students. So, when we impress ourselves on our culture, they kind of want to visit. For me, I have a few of my friends already come to visit Cambodia. So from Chile, from Timor-Leste, and more people want to come. And we are the Cambodian can host them and tell them what is our culture is, and we can bring more people into Cambodia. And the tourism sector in Cambodia has promote a lot of economic growth in the country, and also provide local job to the community. And you might already know, like in Siem Reap, provide a lot of job to Cambodian citizens. And the more people coming in, the more economic growth we can. So that's one thing I just want to add on top. Sonita just mentioned, yeah.
So it's impressive to hear that the cross-cultural connection can bring a lot of significance to the country's overall development. Especially, I like the point that you mentioned that it encourages the foreign investment and trade. That is something that Cambodia is currently developing in terms of that. And also fostering the relationship, because that theory alone cannot help foster the student academic journey. So there's going to be more interaction outside that can help foster the relationship between student to student. So that is something that is impressive to hear, how that exchanges can help foster relationship between one person to another. So moving on to the next question. So I would like to know about your advice. So what advice would you like to give to the other audience who would like to embark their experiences on the cross-cultural exchanges? So this time we start with Bong Sonita.
My advice would be to be open-minded and respect the cultural differences. Open-mindedness and embracing the difference in diversity are the key in terms of thriving in multicultural setting. I hope the audience would look at the differences as an opportunity for development, for both personal and professional development, rather than challenges. That's it from me.
Thank you, Bong. And how about Bong? Okay.
Yeah, thank you. I think Sonita just mentioned a very critical point on the open-mindedness and the embrace new experience. For me, my advice would be keep in mind that when you are going out of your country, especially into Australia, your journey is about both academic learning and personal growth. So travel, making friends, and enjoy the experience that you have. And remember that when you are in Australia, the Student Support Center or Australian Award Scholarship team will be supporting you on the way. So don't worry about going there, impress yourself, and learning about new experience in Australia, and come back to contribute more in Cambodia as well.
That's right.
Thank you. Well, that's insightful advice to especially to the younger generation who would like to go out and explore and study abroad. So that is something that could be useful for them when going there. So moving on to the last question. So how can we foster the cross-cultural connection beyond the Australia borders? Can I hear your perspective on that?
Sure. I think we already know that the cultural connection is very important. For me, I would suggest two things that I'm thinking of. One is to initiate the regional alumni event where all the Australian award alumni can be together. When I talk about regional event, meaning that cross country, because we have a lot of different Australian award in Asia, also outside of Asia as well. If we have that, it's gonna be making us more connected to one another. And I already mentioned about different activities from Victoria University that we've done so far, like cherry picking, snow trip, and also checking on us more often. So I don't know, maybe some of the university they don't have that, or maybe they have less than that. So what I suggest is that create more activity for the student, so then we can build connect with each other and not only focus on academic, but also learning about one another, and especially appreciate the Australian culture that we are living in. Yeah.
Hey, that's great to hear. How about you, Mom?
There are two ways I'm thinking of. The first one is to maintain relationship with your former professor, your former supervisor, classmates or colleagues. I think this is a quite low effort, easier way to keep the cross-cultural connection going on. The other one is to find opportunity to collaborate. For example, if you have a work opportunity that say, oh, maybe you need another partner in terms of researching project, then reach out to them, collaborate together, and then present those findings in either Cambodia or Australia, because collaborative effort could really bring in together different perspective and also different expertise as well. That really help us grow. Thank you.
That's really good. I think I just want to add one more quickly. I think one thing that would add to your point as well, whenever we plan to visit Australia just for a visit, I think it would be good to connect with our university professor that we can present our work to the student there. So recently I did connect with my professor at Victoria University that I'm planning to visit Melbourne, and then I asked them like, can I present my job so the student there can learn what we do at Cambodia. So this is one thing that we can, keep maintaining, those kind of things. Yeah.
Can I also add just one example that I would like to raise of the second point that I gave you earlier, which is the collaboration. From my example is that 10 months after my return to Cambodia, I would like to publish my research, and then there's an opportunity to publish the manuscript. And then I reach out to my former supervisor and professor and say, would you like to co-write together? And then after her consideration, she said yes. And then we really have a meeting and then discuss, and we work together, and then recently it has just been published. So it really a way to keep this kind of connection going on for long term.
Congratulations.
Thank you. Thank you so much.
So thank you to Bong Sonita and Bong Ratha for spending your valuable time and also for sharing your experiences and also for your insight. To our listener, thank you for joining in today's episode. Join us next time as we continue exploring the transformative power of education through the voices of the Australia Board Scholar. Until next time, keep learning and making a difference in your community.